There exists one action you can perform just once that will permanently transform how every individual in your existence treats you. Not a stratagem, not manipulation for the feeble-minded. This is a fundamental shift in how you conduct yourself through the world. Machiavelli comprehended it 5 centuries ago. The sovereigns who heeded became legends. The ones who disregarded it became historical annotations. Most men expend their entire existences questioning why they are disregarded, why they are interrupted, why their presence commands nothing. They attribute circumstances. They attribute others. They never examined within. Yet you are present because you suspect the truth. The issue was never them. The issue was the signal you were transmitting without even realizing it. Today, that signal ceases. What replaces it will cause individuals to hesitate before they address you. It will cause them to select their expressions carefully. It will cause them to treat you differently, permanently. The illusion most individuals inhabit. Permit me to inform you about the silent affliction that contaminates nearly every man walking this earth. It is the desperate gnawing hunger for endorsement. Observe closely, and you will perceive it everywhere. Men laughing excessively at humor that is not amusing because they desire to be favored. Men concurring with opinions they secretly despise because they dread confrontation. Men diminishing their voices, softening their stances, bending their spines in 1,000 imperceptible ways every single day, merely to conform, merely to be accepted, merely to evade the discomfort of someone else's disapproval. This is the illusion, the conviction that if you render yourself agreeable enough, pleasant enough, accommodating enough, the world will reward you with esteem. It will not. The world does not esteem those who pursue its endorsement. It utilizes them. It extracts from them. It traverses over them and barely recollects their identities. Machiavelli observed the courts of Italy and perceived this truth carved in blood. The men who pleaded for favor were discarded the instant they were no longer beneficial. The men who stood apart, who required nothing from the multitude, those were the men who accumulated genuine influence. You have been conditioned since infancy to pursue affirmation. Your parents rewarded you for compliance. Your instructors rewarded you for conformity. Society informed you that being favored was the highest accomplishment. It was all a falsehood designed to render you controllable. The instant you base your emotional condition on how others perceive you, you bestow them the keys to your consciousness. You become a marionette, and every person around you holds a string. They may not even realize they are tugging, but tug they do, and you perform. Today, you acquire to sever those strings, every single one of them. The Machiavellian truth about perception. Machiavelli inscribed something that most individuals misinterpret completely. He stated that everyone observes what you appear to be, yet few experience what you truly are. Peruse that again in your consciousness. Permit it to settle. This is not about deception in the trivial sense. This is about comprehending the contest that is always being conducted, whether you participate consciously or not. Every single person you encounter is forming assessments about you within moments. They are interpreting your posture, your visual contact, the steadiness of your voice, the manner you respond to pressure. They are not perceiving the authentic you. They are perceiving a projection, an image. And here is what separates the influential from the powerless. The influential comprehend this and assume command of that image deliberately. The powerless permit it to form arbitrarily and then question why existence treats them harshly. You do not receive treatment according to your intentions. You do not receive treatment according to your internal goodness or your concealed potential. You receive treatment according to what you project outward into the world. This is cold. This is uncomfortable, yet this is actuality.
A man who carries himself with quiet assurance will be presumed competent before he demonstrates anything. A man who fidgets and pursues reassurance will be presumed feeble before he even articulates. Fairness has nothing to do with it. The courtiers of Renaissance Italy understood this instinctively. Every gesture was calculated. Every expression was measured. not because they were false, but because they comprehended that perception is the sole currency that matters in the economy of influence. You can be the most capable man in the space and still be dismissed if your presence whispers insecurity. You can be average in ability and still command esteem if your presence articulates authority. Command the projection. Command your destiny. The one shift: emotional autonomy. Here is the shift, the single change that rewires everything. You must become emotionally autonomous from the reactions of others. Articulate it to yourself until it sears into your cognition. Their endorsement signifies nothing. Their disapproval signifies nothing. Their praise does not elevate you. Their criticism does not diminish you. You are the unmoved nucleus. Most men are thermometers. They merely reflect the temperature of the space around them. Someone smiles at them, they experience contentment. Someone frowns at them, they experience discontent. Their entire emotional existence is a reaction to external forces they cannot command. This is servitude dressed in social attire. The man who operates from genuine influence is not a thermometer, he is a thermostat. He establishes the temperature. He does not inquire of the space for permission to experience certainty. He does not observe others to validate his worth. His emotional condition is generated from within, and it remains constant regardless of what transpires externally. This is not arrogance. Arrogance is loud. Arrogance is desperate. Arrogance is merely insecurity dressed in a costume. What I am describing is quiet, unshakable solidity. It is the man who can receive an insult and experience nothing but mild curiosity about why the other person experienced the necessity to deliver it. It is the man who can be praised and simply nod without permitting it to expand his sense of self. He already comprehends his value. He determined it. He did not request a consensus. When you attain this condition, something peculiar commences to transpire. People sense it. They cannot articulate what is transformed, but they experience it in their essence. You become more challenging to exploit, more challenging to unsettle, more challenging to command, and humans instinctively esteem what they cannot easily sway. This is your groundwork. Construct everything else upon it. How people actually evaluate you. Comprehend something critical. People are always evaluating you. Not consciously most of the time, not with malicious intent necessarily, but evaluating nonetheless. It is inherent in human nature. We are constantly probing each other to ascertain where we stand in the imperceptible hierarchy. These evaluations manifest in forms you have probably never recognized. The colleague who makes a slightly disrespectful jest at your expense in front of others. That is an evaluation. The companion who cancels arrangements at the final moment and offers a feeble justification. That is an evaluation. The person who interrupts you mid-sentence to share their own perspective. That is an evaluation. The stranger who maintains visual contact a little too long with a hint of challenge. That is an evaluation. Every single day, people are transmitting these small probes to observe how you respond. And your response informs them everything they need to understand about how to treat you moving forward. Most men fail these evaluations without realizing an evaluation even occurred. They dismiss the disrespectful jest to seem easygoing. They accept the flimsy justification to evade conflict. They yield the conversation to preserve harmony. They glance away first to escape discomfort. And in doing so, they transmit a clear signal. You can push me. I will not push back.
This signal is received and recorded not in expressions but in sensations. The person now understands at a profound level that you are someone who can be moved, someone who can be deprioritized, someone whose boundaries are negotiable. The Machiavellian mind perceives these evaluations clearly. He does not react with anger or aggression. That would be forfeiting control. Instead, he responds with calm, measured resistance, a pause, a steady gaze, a refusal to laugh when nothing was amusing. He passes the evaluation quietly, and the evaluator recalibrates permanently. the influence of strategic quietness. Most men articulate excessively. They fill every quietness with noise because quietness renders them uncomfortable. They over-explain themselves. They rationalize their determinations. They hasten to respond before the other person has even concluded articulating. This is vulnerability leaking out through the mouth. The influential have always comprehended that quietness is an implement sharper than any expression. When you articulate less, you reveal less. When you reveal less, you become more challenging to interpret. When you become more challenging to interpret, you become more challenging to command. Machiavelli observed that the most hazardous men in the courts were not the loud ones delivering grand orations. They were the quiet ones in the corner, observing everything and articulating nearly nothing. Their quietness created a void that others hastened to occupy, and in that occupying, they reveal themselves completely. Acquire to permit quietness to perform the work for you. When someone inquires you a question designed to position you on the defensive, do not hasten to respond. Pause. Permit the quietness to extend. Observe how uncomfortable they become. That discomfort is your influence. When someone insults you or attempts to provoke you, do not retaliate immediately. Permit the quietness to linger in the atmosphere. A slow blink, a slight inclination of the head, nothing more. This non-reaction is devastating because it communicates something profound. You are not worth my emotional vitality. I will not grant you the gratification of understanding you affected me. Strategic quietness also renders your expressions more valuable. The man who articulates constantly has his expressions treated like common currency, abundant and therefore worthless. The man who articulates rarely has his expressions treated like gold, scarce and therefore precious. When he ultimately does articulate, the space listens. Command the impulse to occupy the emptiness. Permit others to speculate what you are contemplating. Enigma is influence. Retraining the world around you. Here is what most men do not comprehend. The people in your existence have been conditioned to treat you a certain manner, not through formal instruction, but through thousands of minor interactions over duration. Each occasion you accepted disrespect without consequence, you conditioned them that disrespect was acceptable. Each occasion you prioritized their necessities over your own without reciprocation, you conditioned them that your necessities were subordinate. Each occasion you reacted emotionally to their provocations, you conditioned them that they held influence over your internal condition. You constructed these patterns, you reinforced them with consistency, and now they feel like permanent fixtures of your associations. Yet they are not permanent. They can be dismantled and reconstructed. When you commence implementing emotional autonomy, something uncomfortable will transpire. The people around you will resist. They will push back against the new manifestation of you, not because they are malevolent, but because humans despise change. They had you deciphered. They understood which buttons to press. They understood what to anticipate. Your transformation disrupts their mental model, and this creates friction. Anticipate it. Some will evaluate you more intensely than before, attempting to draw you back into old patterns. They will accuse you of being cold or distant or different. These accusations are evidence that you are succeeding. Do not elucidate yourself. Do not rationalize your evolution. Do not pursue their comprehension or endorsement. That would be reverting to the old snare.
Simply remain consistent. This is the essential that most men overlook. They attempt the new approach for a few days, then crumble at the initial sign of resistance. They revert to their old methods and reinforce the original conditioning even more profoundly. You must outlast the resistance. Maintain your structure for weeks, then months. Eventually, the people around you will have no alternative but to recalibrate. They will adjust their mental model of you. They will update their anticipations. They will commence treating you according to the new standard you have established.
Some associations will not endure this transition. Some people are only in your existence because you were simple to utilize. When you cease being simple, they will drift away. Permit them to depart. Their departure is not a forfeiture. It is a filter functioning exactly as it should. The associations that persist will be stronger. They will be constructed on genuine esteem rather than convenience. You are not forfeiting people. You are upgrading your entire social environment, one maintained boundary at a time. The shadowed psychology of value perception. There is a principle in human psychology so fundamental that once you perceive it, you will never unperceive it. We allocate value based on scarcity. What is rare is precious. What is abundant is worthless. This pertains to resources, it pertains to opportunities, and it pertains to people. Consider how you treat something that is always accessible to you. The atmosphere you inhale, the water from your faucet, the companion who always responds on the initial ring regardless of circumstances. You take these things for granted, not because you are not unappreciative, but because your cognition is wired to conserve attention for what is limited. Now consider how you treat something that is scarce, a rare item you have been pursuing, an opportunity that may never recur, the person who is challenging to reach and impossible to foresee. Your attention sharpens, your effort increases, your esteem deepens automatically without any conscious determination. This is not a deficiency in human nature. It is human nature operating exactly as designed. And the shadowed psychologists of history comprehended how to weaponize this truth. When you are always accessible, you condition people to perceive you as low value. When you respond instantly to every message, you communicate that your time has no competing demands. When you accept every invitation, you signal that your existence lacks alternatives. When you reveal everything about yourself immediately, you leave nothing to discover. Enigma perishes, and with it perishes their engagement. The Machiavellian maneuver is to become strategically scarce without being manipulatively absent. This is a delicate equilibrium. You are not participating in games. You are not artificially delaying responses to seem significant. You are genuinely constructing an existence so full of purpose that you cannot be at everyone's beck and call. You are cultivating depth that cannot be fully accessed in a single conversation. You are developing layers that reveal themselves slowly over duration. When people sense that accessing you requires effort, they automatically allocate you more value. When they sense that your attention is selective, they treasure it when they receive it. When they sense that you have alternatives, they work more diligently to remain one of them. This is not about being cold or unavailable. It is about being centered in your own existence rather than orbiting someone else's. The man who abandons everything for everyone becomes furniture, present but disregarded. The man who has his own gravitational pull becomes a destination. People adjust their schedules for him. They wonder about him when he is not there. They experience his absence as weight. Cease flooding the market with your presence. Scarcity is not cruelty. Scarcity is clarity. It informs the world that your time and vitality are finite resources that must be merited, not assumed.
Becoming untouchable. Permit me to depict for you the man you are becoming. He enters a space and something shifts in the atmosphere. There is no announcement, there is no arrogance radiating from him, yet people observe. They experience a gravitational weight they cannot explain. He does not pursue the nucleus of attention, yet attention discovers him anyway. He does not articulate first, yet when he articulates, the space quiets. This is not charisma in the shallow sense. This is presence, forged through complete internal security.
He has nothing to demonstrate because he has already demonstrated everything to the sole judge that matters, himself. This man is untouchable, not because he has constructed barriers so elevated that nothing can reach him, but because he has constructed a foundation so profound that nothing can unsettle him. Insults land at his feet like pebbles hurled at a mountain. He observes them. He may even find them mildly intriguing, yet they do not penetrate. They cannot. There is no injury inside, desperate for salt. Praise cascades over him like precipitation on stone. He appreciates it. He may even acknowledge it with a nod, yet it does not expand him. His sense of self was never dependent on external validation, so external validation cannot modify it. He cannot be lured into emotional reactions because he has conditioned himself to select his responses deliberately. Someone elevates their voice at him, and he becomes quieter. Someone attempts to provoke him, and he becomes more still. Someone attempts to exploit him through guilt or shame, and he perceives the attempt clearly, like observing a child attempt to manipulate a lock with a twig. He is not cruel about it. He does not mock or belittle. He simply does not comply. This drives manipulators insane because their implements no longer function. The strategies that function on everyone else shatter against him like glass against metal. And here is what transpires over duration. People commence to treat this man differently without consciously determining to. They select their expressions more carefully around him. They esteem his time without being requested. They pursue his endorsement while understanding it will not come readily. They articulate about him when he is not present with a tone reserved for those who command genuine esteem. This is not dread, though dread may be a minor component. This is recognition. The animal cognition in every person he encounters recognizes a man who has mastered himself, and that mastery is the rarest thing in the world. Most people are turmoil walking, reactive, emotional, predictable, simple to push and pull. The man who has achieved internal order stands out like a beacon in a gale. He becomes a reference point, a standard. Others gauge themselves against him and quietly adjust their conduct in his presence. You are not distant from this. Every principle you have assimilated tonight is a brick in this foundation. Every evaluation you pass from this moment forward adds to your solidity. Every quietness you maintain strengthens your structure. The untouchable man is not generated, he is constructed, determination by determination, day by day. You are under construction. Continue constructing. And the final directive. You have remained through this entire journey for a reason. Something inside you recognized the truth in these expressions. Something inside you has been awaiting authorization to become the man you were always capable of being. This is that authorization. Yet authorization signifies nothing without action. Understanding without implementation is merely entertainment. You will forget most of what you heard tonight within 48 hours unless you perform something differently, commencing now.
So here is your directive. Not a suggestion, not a gentle recommendation, a directive. Tomorrow, you will encounter a moment where the previous manifestation of you would pursue endorsement. You will experience the pull, the familiar impulse to elucidate yourself, to soften your stance, to laugh at something that is not amusing, to concur with something you do not believe, to glance away first, to occupy the quietness with anxious expressions. When that moment arrives, you will perform nothing. You will maintain your ground. You will permit the quietness to respire. You will keep your gaze steady. You will experience the discomfort, and you will not flinch. That single moment is your initiation, not the listening, the performing. One moment of practiced emotional autonomy will instruct you more than 100 hours of theory.
Your neural system will acquire what your consciousness already understands. And from that one moment, you will construct another, then 100 more, until the man I describe becomes indistinguishable from the man you perceive in the reflection. This is not about becoming someone else. This is about stripping away everything that was layered onto you by a world that benefits from your vulnerability. The endorsement seeking was installed. The conflict avoidance was conditioned. The emotional reactivity was programmed. None of it was originally yours. You are returning to something primal, something ancient, something that Machiavelli perceived in the sovereigns who constructed empires and commanded legacies. The cold clarity of a man who understands his own value and refuses to negotiate it downward for anyone. The world will not applaud this transformation. Do not anticipate celebration. Anticipate resistance. Anticipate confusion. Anticipate some people to resent the new you because the new you can no longer be utilized. That resentment is the cost of liberation, compensated gladly. For every person who falls away, 10 more will be drawn to your gravity. Quality will replace quantity. Esteem will replace tolerance, and you will ultimately comprehend what it signifies to move through existence as a man who cannot be unsettled. I have bestowed upon you the blueprint. I have bestowed upon you the principles. I have demonstrated to you the path that separates the influential from the disregarded. What you perform with it is entirely your selection. Yet understand this: the man you are tonight is not the man you have to be tomorrow. Transformation is accessible to you right now, not next week, not when conditions improve, not when you experience prepared. Now. If this message reached something inside you, I desire you to declare it. Place a commentary below with these expressions: I am the unmoved nucleus. That phrase is your anchor. Each moment you experience the old patterns tugging you back, recollect those expressions. Permit them to remind you of who you are selecting to become. Permit them to connect you to every other man observing this, who made the same declaration. You are not solitary in this transformation. You are part of a silent army of men reclaiming their influence, one maintained boundary at a time. Now, if this recording delivered value to you, and I understand it did, demonstrate that by activating the approval button. It costs you nothing, yet it informs the algorithm to distribute this message with other men who require to hear it. Subscribe to this channel if you have not already. We are constructing something here, a repository of understanding that the mainstream will never instruct you. Activate notifications so you never overlook when a new piece arrives. The contest continues. Your evolution continues, and I will perceive you in the subsequent one. Remain solid, remain sharp, remain untouchable.